Okay, let's jump right into this explainer and tackle a completely ridiculous-sounding question that essentially forces us to play biological detective. I mean, we've all seen a puppy, a kitten, or a baby seal and immediately thought, ah, right? Humans have spent literally thousands of years looking at tiny creatures and deciding, yep, I will protect you with my life. But it begs a genuinely fascinating question. When animals look back at us, do they experience that exact same feeling?
So, do animals think humans are cute? At first glance, you'd probably say, no way. And honestly, answering this is surprisingly tricky. The main roadblock here? Animals can't exactly give us an interview. A dog can't sit down and explain why it has a favorite human, a gorilla can't tell us what it notices about a human infant, and a crow isn't going to fill out a survey on facial recognition. Because of this, scientists are forced to work backward. They have to study brains, compare species, and track behavioral patterns to find what turns out to be a truly surprising verdict.
Section 1. The Science of Cuteness. Decoding the biological awe. To actually solve this mystery, we first need to figure out what cuteness even is on a neurological level. A lot of people think cuteness is just an aesthetic preference, just something nice to look at, but scientists have long suspected it runs way deeper than that.
If we trace the science back to the 1940s, an Austrian scientist named Konrad Lorenz noticed something totally incredible. He realized that babies across vastly different species share surprisingly similar features. We're talking large eyes, round faces, big foreheads, tiny little noses, and really soft proportions. I mean, even future apex predators start out looking completely harmless. Lorenz proposed that these specific features are literally designed to trigger caregiving instincts. Fast forward to today, and modern brain scans show he hit the nail on the head. These baby-like faces instantly light up the reward, attention, and nurturing centers of the brain. Before you even consciously think, wow, that's cute, your brain is already prepping you to take care of it.
So, the absolutely crucial takeaway here is this. Cuteness is not just a preference. It's a hardwired evolutionary survival tool. Just think about human babies for a second. They are remarkably helpless. From an evolutionary standpoint, if adults weren't intensely biologically motivated to care for them, our species would have been in major trouble. Cuteness basically evolved as an instinctual trigger to keep deeply vulnerable infants alive.
But what's truly mind-blowing is that these instincts aren't just a human thing. They routinely cross species lines. I'm sure you've seen the videos online, right? Dogs adopting kittens, cats raising ducklings, monkeys carrying around puppies. Time and time again, we see an animal directing incredibly nurturing behavior toward a completely different species. It's like their brain just totally ignores the fact that the baby isn't one of their own. They just recognize something small, vulnerable, and in need of protection, and instinct takes over the whole shebang.
Section 2. The neoteny factor, the overgrown apes. Now we get to look at our smoking gun, the biological quirk that makes us humans incredibly weird compared to the rest of the animal kingdom.
Scientists call this quirk neoteny. Basically, it's the retention of juvenile or youthful traits straight into adulthood. In plain English, evolution essentially left humans looking permanently young. If you compare an adult human to other adult primates, it's wild how many youthful characteristics we hang on to. We've got flatter faces, smaller jaws, much larger visible eyes, practically no brow ridges, and way rounder skulls. Seriously, if you showed a chimpanzee skull and a human skull to an alien who had never seen either species, they'd probably assume the human was the baby. Structurally speaking, an adult human resembles a juvenile chimpanzee way more than a fully grown one. We are essentially a primate that never fully grew out of certain baby features.
Section 3. How animals see us, the witnesses. Since we're walking around with these permanent baby faces, it's time to figure out how other animals actually react to us. We need to call our witnesses to the stand.
Our first witnesses, the great apes. Primatologists and zookeepers have documented so many cases where incredibly powerful animals like gorillas, bonobos, and chimps show this remarkable, deliberate gentleness specifically around human babies. These are animals that could easily cause serious damage, but suddenly, they become extraordinarily careful. They move super slowly, reach out cautiously, and just watch so intently. Bonobos, which are highly socially sophisticated, leave and direct gentle touches and affiliative behavior toward human infants. It's the exact kind of careful gentleness they normally save for the vulnerable members of their own group. They seem to be responding to our vulnerability as a universal concept.
Next up on the stand, dogs. They are arguably the best human readers on the entire planet. Dogs follow our gaze, they recognize our facial expressions, and they can absolutely tell a happy human face from an angry one. But the real proof here is in the hormones. When dogs interact with their favorite humans, both the dog and the human experience a massive spike in oxytocin. That's the social bonding hormone. Researchers have actually compared this to the exact same chemical mechanisms that drive parent-child relationships. Dogs aren't just tolerating us, they're actively bonding with us, putting humans into an emotional category all our own using the literal hormonal loops designed for raising kids. And then, of course, we have cats. I love this observation from the research. Cats effectively developed a communication strategy tailored to another species, an impressive accomplishment for an animal that somehow convinced millions of humans to become unpaid staff. It's hilarious, but it is 100% grounded in hard science. Cats form real attachment bonds, they recognize their familiar humans, and here's the kicker. They actively modify their communication just for us. Most of those meows you hear in your house, adult cats rarely ever use those with each other. They're tailor-made for human ears, successfully manipulating our hardwired caregiving instincts. We also can't forget about the highly cognitive animals out in the wild. Take crows. Crows can recognize specific human faces, remember them for years, and, get this, communicate information about those specific individuals to other crows. Elephants recognize individual humans too. Parrots form lifelong social bonds with us. Dolphins identify their companions using signature whistles. The point is, these animals are building incredibly detailed mental models of the individuals around them. We're not just background noise in nature to them. They are watching us right back, and they're paying very, very close attention.
Section 4. An evolutionary accident. The surprising verdict. At this point, the question isn't whether animals notice us. They definitely do. Let's pull all these clues together for the final verdict on whether animals actually think we're cute.
It all comes down to a neat three-step process that connects the puzzle pieces perfectly. Step 1. For millions of years, evolution hardwired animals to recognize and protect the vulnerable, the young, the ones that desperately needed care. Step 2. Humans show up. We're this weird species of unusually baby-faced apes that held on to permanent juvenile features thanks to neoteny. Step 3. By just existing, we inadvertently trigger those ancient hardwired caregiving instincts. Now, scientists still don't know for sure if a dog experiences an emotion that perfectly matches our human feeling of awe. There's no real evidence your dog is consciously admiring your facial proportions, right? But we clearly possess the exact biological signals that command caregiving behavior across a huge chunk of the animal kingdom.
Which leaves us with a pretty provocative thought to wrap up this explainer. If animals are occasionally responding to us with gentleness, protection, and deep social attachment, are we just a massive evolutionary accident that looks like it still needs taken care of? In the eyes of the animal kingdom, is there a chance we're all just overgrown babies who somehow managed to find millions of willing babysitters? Keep that in mind the next time your pet looks up at you. Thanks for hanging out with me,